Did you listen elsewhere? Paradise in trouble. Similar sentence which I am telling you now. Australians are in trouble. And Australia, I am referring paradise in the world because if you will ask migrants in which country you want to go and you think it's a paradise, they will definitely refer many countries, but they will refer one country, Australia. They will say Australians lead happiest life. There is a wealthy country. There are more facilities. The views are very good. So therefore, among the world, Australia is considered one of the paradise of the world among some countries. But in this clip, what I am telling you, you will not try to go to Australia and you will say the paradise is a little bit changing to other side. I am not naming hell, but at least it's not paradise now. Australian citizens now are not happy as they were 10 years back. If you will just see, they give claims and they blame the migrants and they blame their government and they blame the migration system. And in their mainstream channel, the reason of this deterioration of Australian society, they just referring migrants population, and they are telling the population raised up to a certain threshold level, due to which we are not able to survive financially. Paradise Australia, I was referring just because of financial mental satisfaction. But now, if you will ask Australian citizen that are you satisfied financially, he will say no, I am not satisfied. They are facing historical housing crisis. They are facing the maximum tax collections by the government. They are facing the job problems first time in history of Australia. Of course, Canada, I will discuss later on, but Canada and Australia, if I will compare, Australian citizens becoming a little bit more claimatory than Canadian citizens, not coming in media. But Australian citizens say our life standards have been reduced from 100% to almost 60%. And one keyword which may be more common in the coming days is that Australians are leaving Australia. Like you are already listening, Canadians are leaving Canada. But I will not say migrants. Migrants want to stay there. Migrants are being sent by immigration department and deportation. Migrants are not living by themselves. But Australian citizens, they think they are not much happy people as they were 10 years back. Their job problems, their facilities, they are also claiming health facilities. What is the stance of the Australian government? They are telling that earlier we were financially superficial country, but now we are also depriving financial status. Of course, economy of Australia is much better than other developed countries and developing country. No doubt about this. Australian businesses, Australian education, Australian companies are at the top. But I'm just comparing with acute Australia, with chronic Australia. I am little bit in doubt that why they are telling some people in Australia are telling these all deprivedness of Australian citizen is because of migrants. I have a little difference with this opinion. I say migrants in any country when they enter, of course there are some non-genuine migrants who enters who are useless, but maximum migrants who enter into country like Australia, they are genuine, they are useful people. Why I am so confident? Because Australian immigration system is the quality immigration system of the world. They assess the people by very authentic way. There are very less spaces by which non-professional people, non-professional students, even non-professional tourists, they enters into such country. So Australians can claim that migrants, due to the migrants, we are suffering financial troubles, we are suffering in taxes, we are suffering in housing crisis. But originality of this problem of Australians is not because of immigrants. Reports from inside Australia are confirming, different surveys are confirming, different research conducted by different universities are confirming that these are the migrants due to which GDP growth of Australia escalated. And if you will just note that who are owners of successful businesses in Australia, the reports are telling 40 to 50% the owners of Australian businesses, they were overseas people and they are overseas people. They were in the mean that they were migrant earlier. They entered country as a migrant and then they stayed and they proved that we are good migrant. That's why Australians are compelled to give them permanent residence. Remember, to get the permanent residence, you have to be non-criminal. You have to be very a authentic individual. You must be able to stay in Australia with a complete responsibility. You must have same social habits as Australians have. You must not have no prejudice. You must have those all skills which are required by Australian immigration department. If one person who qualified these all tests, English test, professional test, and stayed 5 years, and then once again in PR assessment he became successful, then they started own companies and they are more richer than Australian native nationals. Therefore, I think immigrants make Australia paradise. But now the Australian citizens are referring that paradise is going to hell by migrants. I am not able to accept this point. What I am observing in all countries like Australia, Canada, but in Australia especially, there was poor planning in last 5 to 10 years regarding population growth. As we all know, population increased by multiple numbers, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4. You can say in arithmetic fashion. But unfortunately, present of the countries were very good. But when they entered into the future, such problems are coming. I don't think Australians' planning was up to the mark since 10 years that in coming 10 years the population will rise. Population is not going to increase due to the migration. Population increase due to the Australian citizens' families as they are increasing in the numbers. I think migration numbers are not much higher than Australian citizens. They are just 2 to 5% of Australia. And most of them are not able to get permanent resident. If you just compare students now currently, they are so restricted that 90% students are just trying to get PR, but they are not able to get PR. They get work permit, and most of them now need to go to back to home country. If since 1 year Australian refusals of student visas are so maximum, in which you cannot analyze and you cannot make a point that the population rising because of the immigrants. Remember, these immigrants enters into different professional fields by which they serve the Australia by superficial way. Australian company owners confirming that output of overseas people are almost 7 to 10 times more than Australian citizens. Australian citizens are entitled for many social benefits. So their work is not much quality work and they always try to get the social benefits. But the person who is starving and coming from developing country and who want to earn money, who want to impart professional services to Australia like doctors, engineers, plumbers, IT specialists, and even the students. Their work is exemplary, and this is not my word. These are companies' CEO words, and the evidence of is evidence of this successful working of overseas concern. The maximum overseas are able to satisfy immigration department after staying 5 years that we are the one who deserve Australian passport because we work like Australians. We give benefits to Australia. We are good humans. We are good educated people. We are skilled people. We help others. That was one of the main reason. But I think current capping on immigration at one side, Australian citizens will make little happier, and in next election in Australia 2025 these capping of the migrants will matter in voting because Australian citizens like Donald Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin, they just want to give vote to that individual and to that applicant who will help them in resolving issues of housing, and they think that this issue is because of migrants. So migrants controlled mean you are going to become prime minister. There is some physical actions by government, but there are some political actions because government also thinking that in next election we will go by capping migrants. So capping of migrant is not a genuine problem, is a transitional problem, but government will say it's a genuine problem because they will switch from transitional side to the genuine side because they need to win election in 2025 as well. Coming Australia, a quality planning and quality migrants checks and quality people who moved into the Australia will definitely revert back Australia into the paradise. I will keep updating you. Keep watching my channel, World Immigration News by Irfan with analysis, consultancy, and hopefully you will subscribe. Thank you very much.